I'm Dr. Jamali. Join me as we uncover fascinating real stories and unbelievable cases from the world.
Imagine just for a second getting handed a piece of paper by a doctor. It's a quote for essential medical equipment. We're talking about something your 2-year-old child absolutely needs just to navigate the world. You look down at the bottom line on that paper, and your heart just completely drops. $20,000. I mean, think about that. For a vast majority of families sitting around their kitchen tables right now, families who are already drowning in standard medical bills, rent, and everyday expenses, that number isn't just expensive. It's a massive brick wall. It makes the absolute necessity of getting a toddler wheelchair completely and utterly impossible. We are talking about a wheelchair, 20 grand for a device that just gives someone basic human mobility. And when a family cannot afford this, the real-world stakes are incredibly heartbreaking. Without the right mobility device, you've got this bright-eyed, eager 2-year-old kid who is stuck sitting on the floor. They literally just have to watch their siblings and friends run and play, missing out on the fundamental independence and mobility that every single child deserves to experience. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. An unexpected high school solution. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how exactly you solve a problem this huge when this system totally prices you out. Because the answer didn't actually come from a massively funded corporate R&D lab. No way. It came from a high school engineering classroom. On one hand, you have the traditional medical device, right? It's highly engineered, heavily regulated, and astronomically priced. But on the other hand, you have our teenage innovators. We aren't talking about doctors with decades of specialized experience or professional corporate engineers. We're talking about high school students, teenagers who looked at a problem sketched out on a classroom whiteboard and simply asked a really revolutionary question. Hey, what if we just built one ourselves? Moving right along to Section 2, engineering a new reality. So how exactly do you engineer a brand new reality for a toddler without a massive corporate budget? Well, you start with something you'd probably find in almost any suburban garage or playroom, a simple, colorful, battery-powered ride-on toy car. The students pop that plastic toy right there on their workshop table, rolled up their sleeves, and got to work. And this brilliantly illustrates the fast-paced, hands-on transformation they went through. Step 1, strip the toy down to its bare bones. Step 2, completely rewire the electronics. Step 3, build custom supports tailored perfectly to the specific child's body. And Step 4, rigorous safety testing. They didn't just modify a toy, they totally reimagined it, using drills, screwdrivers, and laptops to program entirely new operating systems. Just look at the specific hands-on actions these students executed. First, they stripped off the original plastic body panels just to get down to the chassis. Then, they soldered entirely new electrical wires to make sure the power was completely reliable and safe. They actually threw out the standard steering wheel, totally redesigned the controls, and installed a highly sensitive joystick that was perfect for a toddler's developing motor skills. After that, they built and measured out custom metal supports to keep the child secure and upright. And finally, they relentlessly tested the motor functionality and safety by just driving it up and down the school hallways. Every single adjustment, every turn of a screwdriver, every single hallway test, it made this wheelchair safer and brought them one step closer to their ultimate goal. Which brings us to Section 3, one child's freedom. All of that intense, brilliant hard work all comes down to a truly inspiring moment, delivery day. The energy in the workshop completely shifts from this frantic, loud buzz of drills and soldering irons to a quiet, really emotional anticipation. The child's family finally walks through the doors of the workshop to see what these students have spent weeks pouring their hearts and minds into. And guys, this is where the mechanics and the engineering transform into pure magic. It's all about the freedom to move. The little boy is gently lifted up and climbs into his highly customized chair. He reaches out with his tiny hand, grabs that joystick they programmed just for him, and gives it a push. And for the very first time in his entire life, he is moving across the room completely on his own. He's driving, he's smiling, and his parents, who are watching their son finally gain his independence, are just wiping away tears of pure disbelief and overwhelming joy. As the child confidently drives around the room, the entire robotics team just completely erupts into applause. And it's in this exact moment that a really profound truth hits home. Like the quote says, the students realized they had built far more than a wheelchair. They hadn't just completed a school project or solved some mechanical puzzle. They had fundamentally altered the trajectory of a young boy's life. They captured a massive human impact that goes way, way beyond gears, metal, and wires. So the crucial point is this: compassion plus creativity equals life-changing innovation. What this incredible story proves is that true innovation absolutely is not measured by a corporate price tag, a patent, or a $20,000 medical invoice. It's measured by the actual lives it changes. When you combine deep empathy with just a pure willingness to tinker, build, and problem solve, you can completely bypass those traditional, impossibly expensive barriers. You can create real, tangible good in the world. One idea, one team, one child's freedom. It leaves us with a really powerful realization to wrap up this explainer. Sometimes, the greatest, most impactful inventions don't come from billion-dollar companies entrenched in the way things have always been done. They come from young minds staring at a whiteboard, completely determined to make the world just a little bit better. So I really want to leave you with this provocative thought today. If a group of high schoolers can tear down a $20,000 medical barrier using a plastic toy and a soldering iron, what other